Do you think a single corporate entity is powerful enough to manipulate the democratic development and political discourse in a certain society? What if that entity was as powerful, as influential, as all-knowing and ever-present as the most popular social network in the world that knows everything about more than 2 billion people? That's right. What if Facebook's algorithms were behind some of the major social events that happened in the recent past? I'm talking about social unrests, divisive political climate, protests, seemingly uninteresting politicians gaining popularity, while the popular ones get lost in the abyss, junk content going viral, while crucial events disappear from the public eyes. This is of course just my speculation, a hypothesis, but based on a very probable cause of action. I'm about to give you a reason to become as suspicious as me about everything trending or going viral coming from the social media. That's because Facebook has started experimenting with democracy in 6 small countries from around the world. In Slovakia, Sri Lanka, Serbia, Bolivia, Guatemala, and Cambodia, Facebook removed all professional media and content from Facebook pages from the main newsfeed. The main newsfeed will now see only posts by friends and sponsors, and everything else is supposed to be in its designated Explore feed. The purpose of splitting feeds, as in Facebook's own words, has been to separate personal content from public. But that's a gross deception. To me, it even looks like a lie. First, in these 6 countries, Facebook removed all established publishers' content from the main feed, even coming from those sources users chose to follow. All of these countries coincidentally have ongoing democratic development and their political climate is very eruptive. Overnight, these people have stopped seeing important coverage from outlets they decided to follow. Second, the main personal feed is nowhere near personal either. Facebook will let paid content through, which means that established advertisers will see their content popping through. Huge mainstream media corporations will essentially manage to get through the paywall in form of advertisements. But important coverage and content from smaller publishers and new startups who rely on the social media interactions will be burned down. But Facebook doesn't have the actual power to influence people's behavior. If people don't find the content they could previously find on the platform, they'll keep looking elsewhere, right?
Wrong.
According to a data analytics site, CrowdTangle, which is owned by Facebook, engagement in likes, shares and comments plummeted by 60% overnight in Slovakia. Guatemalan news site Soy502, which is an essential source for Guatemalan citizens to get anti-corruption coverage, reported 66% decrease of traffic after this rule was implemented. Publications has seen overall fall in views by 60% to 80% due to the overall drop of user engagement in Facebook pages. This has already affected many serious news outlets who are covering critical events. Only junk content and fake non-stories were let through. Anyone else had to pay. Because Facebook knows so much about people who use it, their platform provides essential database of private information that no one else could have access to. This allows Facebook to make real-life experiments and measure effects of certain causes. Facebook wants to introduce a new space for advertisers, so that now they have 2 feeds where they can sell ads and not just one.
Hell yeah.
But with these experiments, publishers are held hostage to Facebook's algorithms as their livelihood can be destroyed overnight simply because Facebook chooses to have some fun with social engineering. People who trusted Facebook as an intermediary to follow what's currently trending and most important in their countries are now deceived by Facebook's own greed to double the space for ads. Facebook now has similar monopoly position to digital publishers as Amazon have to book publishers or supermarkets to farmers. The market of demand is centralized in these giant corporations, so producers have to respond to blackmailing demands of these monopoly powers. Publishers can't choose to boycott Facebook because they are going to gamble with a significant portion of their user base using Facebook as intermediary that helps them stay afloat. Amazon can choose which books make it through and which don't. Supermarkets can decide what food you'll see in their stores. And Facebook will decide what's going to trend on your newsfeed. Part of it is driven by mere profit from advertisers, but part of it could very well be motivated by Facebook's own political agenda. Why is this a problem? You might say that Facebook is a private entity and can do whatever they want. Users should read the news from publishers directly and not rely on an intermediary. People don't have to buy books from Amazon or food from the supermarkets. There are little men all over the place. The problem is that the world doesn't work that way. It's been economically proven that whenever a monopoly makes a radical change in their offer, the market follows their decision, not vice versa. That's kind of what defines monopoly in the first place. The power to execute without market restraints that should have been there naturally, but are absent in the presence of a monopoly. It's all about trust. Facebook invites people to sign up to their social network, agreeing to their terms and conditions that grant Facebook to take whatever course of action without letting the users know. The platform is a lab, and its users are just samples to be experimented with. Facebook abuses its users' trust to expand their treatment beyond anyone's imagination. Users are never told properly how they are being used. Publishers, on the other hand, wouldn't have advertised their audience to follow them on Facebook if they knew that Facebook would have never treated them unfairly. Agreeing to the terms in most people's minds doesn't really imply experimenting with their country's foundations. If you think about it, how far can Facebook push these experiments? If Facebook manipulates feeds to get a specific reaction from people, can they arrange it so that certain groups of people start rioting in the streets? Or that this group of people starts hating this group of people? All of them trapped separately in their little Facebook bubbles, not aware this is all part of a big social experiment?
Yo, it was just a prank!
Taking advantage of people's susceptibility to confirmation bias and other cognitive biases and psychological weaknesses, Facebook has the power to manipulate whatever group they choose into doing whatever they are trying to achieve with their experiments. At which point, these are no longer experiments but intended manipulative strategies with specific goals that benefit Facebook directly.
What if a platform with that kind of power decides to turn out supporters of one candidate over the other? How would we even know about it?
Can Facebook make a non-important story trend instead of a crucial one? Could Facebook make a purposefully deceptive headline circulate through people's main feeds to trigger a certain political reaction from the masses at a critical point during elections? Is it possible that social unrests like these could have something to do with how Facebook arranges news feeds of their users? The answer to all of these questions is yes, because Facebook makes the code. It really can do whatever they want once people sign up to their service. Their actions have only so much impact as people rely on Facebook to get information from. But right now, that ratio is heavily in favor of Facebook. How to get out of this? It's futile to require Facebook not to act a certain way. They are centralized proprietary software. Nobody is in control except for them. They're their own government, within a government, operating outside of anyone's borders, but still able to influence what's going on within each of those borders. So what do? I think it's time to start thinking outside of the box. This kind of behavior used to be rewarded back in the days I can remember. You shouldn't rely on a centralized social network to deliver you content from the community around you and sources you want to follow. Also, it's a good idea to stop giving Facebook all of your personal data in private conversations. For instant messaging, we never needed a centralized platform. There are countless of alternatives. Signal, Wire, ChatSecure or CryptoCat are among the most popular secure instant messaging services. Signal and Wire can easily be used to make voice and video calls. I don't have Facebook, and I'm doing just fine with these. Also, there is nothing wrong with using emails. People tend to be more open in those and respond in more details. At least that has been my experience. I wouldn't like giving Google or any other corporation privilege to read contents of my email messages, so I would only go for something encrypted like ProtonMail, Postio, Tutanota or MailFans. If you're still looking for an open social network that won't filter anything for you, you can try out minds.com to see how it works out for you. Many people say they don't like Facebook but use it nonetheless because they need it to stay connected with their friends. But that's just an excuse. You don't need Facebook. Facebook has been here for about less than a decade. We have managed without it just fine for the past hundreds of thousands of years of human communication. We can do it now. It's just a service, nothing more. Life isn't easier with it, it isn't more difficult without it. There is too much at stake for the little seeming convenience Facebook offers. You are not your Facebook profile. Thanks for watching. If this message means something to you, please share it with the world. If you are new to this channel, I welcome you to subscribe for more coverage like this in the future.